Hi there, guys. Fr.Francis McKee. Glad to be with you. I'm doing a series of reflections on where's God in this pandemic. Doing it for my parishioners, but you're very welcome to join us. This is one of a series of my reflections, and the topic today is, thanks COVID-19, I can finally breathe. Thanks COVID-19, I can finally breathe. Guys, it's been tough. It is tough. As a parish priest, I've been visiting all kinds of folks who are sick with the COVID. I've seen a bunch of them. I've been in the palliative care unit once where I was alone anointing somebody while the family was out in the rain and crying because they were not allowed in. Very difficult, very painful. Seen senior citizens who are struggling being alone in their homes and terrified, lonely. I accompanied a young mother at the beginning of the pandemic, 3 small children, and she died of this situation. It's been terribly difficult. But nevertheless, my theme is, thanks COVID-19, I can finally breathe. You're the great authors of the spiritual life, whether it be Christian, Jewish, or other faiths, the great thinkers, the great authors, remind us that these difficult times are moments which bring out the magnanimity, the goodness, the greatness of human beings. We think of the exile. Ezekiel said as much as the folks, the Hebrew people were out in the exile. He spoke to them and said, God is with you through this. We learn through the sufferings and difficulties we experience, and Christians call this passing from death to life, from the cross to the resurrection. It awakens in us great lessons. And so, COVID-19, thanks, I can finally breathe. Let me tell you a little story. I picked it up from the Hasidic community. It's a story about Tailor Levi. Now, Tailor Levi was a great tailor, and he did some work for Bob, and he made a tuxedo for Bob. And Bob was thrilled when Levi said, come on in, Bob, the tuxedo's ready. And so Bob came in and he put on the tuxedo, and Tailor Levi says, do you like it? He says, yeah, I like it. I really like it. But I've had a bit of a problem. See, the left sleeve's a little bit short. Well, says Tailor Levi, no problem. Let's do a shoulder job. Oh, says Bob, much better. It looks like it's fitting properly now. So Levi says, well, is everything fine? And Bob says, well, you know, actually, my leg's a little tight there, you know, but otherwise everything's fine. And Tailor Levi said, don't worry. A little neck job, but you'll be just, oh, that feels much better, says Bob. Oh, yes. So the Tailor Levi says, is everything fine now? And he says, Bob says, yeah, but I noticed my pant leg's a little short, you know? Well, says Tailor Levi, no problem. Just a little leg job and you'll be just fine. So how you doing there, Bob? And Bob says, oh, this is wonderful, says Bob. This is great. Silly story, eh? But the point is, this is us. The tuxedo is our lifestyle, and it hasn't fit for many years. And we've bent our bodies, we've bent our families, we've bent our lifestyle in all kinds of contorted ways to accommodate a lifestyle that makes no sense. And yes, we can't breathe anymore. And so we're working 7 days a week, even though we should take the Shabbat off. We should take Sunday off as a day of rest. But no, we need to work 7 days a week to make more money. And then we need to rest by going off to Cuba and raising more money so we can rush off to Cuba or Jamaica or wherever we go, rather than maybe resting with my family at home and just playing checkers or playing games or Monopoly. Oh, we're always rushing, and then we come home from work after 2 hours in traffic. We rush home and we have to get off to hockey and basketball and ballet, and then these are all good things, guys. But our lifestyle has become absurd over the last 10 years. And we're rushing like crazy people. And the numbers of individuals in my office over the last few years saying, Father McKee, I'm just falling apart. I'm cracking. I can't continue anymore. I'm having a depression. I'm burning out. How many I've seen like that? Families falling apart, husbands and wives screaming at each other because they never see each other anymore. Guys, we can't breathe. Thank God for COVID-19. As difficult as it's been, it's saying, whoa, slow down. And the Lord speaks to the events of our lives. And the Lord is saying, whoa, slow down. But we won't listen, you know. We say, oh yes, we should slow down. We ought to readjust our agendas. But we don't do it, see. Because we're so caught up in this crooked tuxedo that we're trying to make fit. Their lives are contorted and we can't breathe. So finally, Providence says, you won't listen? We'll make you listen. Crash! And everybody's at home. What can I do now? Nothing to do. I'm getting bored. Good. Maybe you'll figure it out now. Maybe you're going to slow down and spend some time with your family. And maybe you're going to take some time to walk. And I've heard so many wonderful stories through the situation of people talking to each other, people in the street waving to each other and saying, look, and I got nothing else to do. Let's talk for an hour instead of just saying, how are you? I spoke to some parishioners just recently who said, we went for a walk on our street with our kids, and there were kids everywhere. We had no idea there's so many kids on the street because they're always rushing here and there, hither and thither. Yes, it's the worst of times, said Dickinson, the worst of times, but the best of times. So we're having to slow down. We're having to learn the lessons again. And COVID-19 is saying, stop. God permits that we should stop because we won't listen. We're on the highway, rushing down the highway, and the GPS ain't working. We don't have a GPS. GPS, God providing signals. We're not listening to God's signals anymore. And so COVID-19 is saying to us, breathe again. It's about learning to slow down and spending time with my family, walking more slowly. If I need a break, I don't have to rush off to another planet, another city, another island. Why not just spend the time walking down the street and breathing and enjoying the family and friends around me? We're having to slow down. We're being called at these times to become holy again. And biblically, the word holy means more like God, which means to become more human, because God is more human than we are. Called to become more human. And so, COVID-19, thanks. I can breathe a little better. And some people are saying, what will the post-pandemic look like? Oh Lord, may we have learned a few lessons about slowing down, breathing properly, and recognizing what is essential in our lives. And I think we're beginning to see that. Let me finish with just a little story. I went to a place which is normally buzzing with activity. I parked my car and there wasn't anybody around except, as we say in French, une marmotte. Marmotte is a little hedgehog, a little groundhog. And the groundhog looked at me and says, what you doing here? This is my territory. Get out of here, buddy. See, the animals are starting to pick up that we're slowing down, and even they are smiling. And the little marmot winked at me and said, have a great day, buddy. COVID-19, thanks. I can breathe again. Have a blessed day, everyone. The Lord be with you.